Welcome to the Shan Discussions. Today is February 6, 2012. There's many topics I want to go over, so I want to just jump right into it and start with why it's important to support Mr. Ron Paul to get us to have a better understanding of what he's talking about, why he's talking about it, and why it is beneficial to us. I'm going to start with the gold standard. What does this mean? This means the deluders that try to manipulate the currency by making it worth more when it benefits them than less when it benefits them. By having the gold standard, it eliminates all that. If $1 is worth 1 ounce of gold, for example, then $1 will always be worth 1 ounce of gold. That's what it is. It means putting some rationale and some actual strength in the currency. That way the currency is what it is. The value of it will be protected. The same thing I talk about when I talk about protecting land rights. If you pay full price for the land plus tax, you shouldn't have to be paying tax forever. Doesn't make any sense. You bought the land, it's your land. You don't need to keep on paying it, and then when you can't pay it, they come take it from you. It's the same type of strength Ron Paul wants to put into the currency. So if $1 is worth 1 ounce of gold, it'll be worth 1 ounce of gold forever. So you take that dollar, you say, man, I want to buy 14 ounces of gold. Here you go, 14 bucks. I want 14 ounces of gold. That's what it's worth. Put some strength in the currency. Strength in the currency means strength in the economy. And strength in the economy means that people can bank on it. It's productivity for everyone. I understand that some people pretend to speak beneficially for Ron Paul, and then they say a statement that jabs at him and make you wonder, are they for or against this guy? Listen to the things that are being said about him. Don't listen to someone say Ron Paul had said this. If they say Ron Paul had said it, then go find a statement and read it. Evaluate it for yourself. Because I find people say Ron Paul is a racist. When I go look at the statements that are supposed to be racist, I laugh at them. I mean, this is the same type of crap they use against Jimmy the Greek to demonize him because he said a black athlete was superior. And the racist bigots didn't like it, so they demonized him and got black people to go along with it. Yeah, he's racist. No, you're just a bitch. Next topic. The Constitution. Ron Paul continues to speak of the necessity of protecting the Constitution. We all understand the United States of America was founded by bigots. We understand that it's the past. These were slave owners who talked about liberty and justice for all, but they had slaves. Alright, fine. It happened, we're here. I want you to understand that the Constitution is a very powerful and important document. So the same bigots, those founding fathers that had all them slaves, they put together these documents that allow us to have the America that we have today. You have to remember when I talk about the National Defense Authorization Act and slavery and why it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous because this is the same type of concept that made Shaka Zulu who he is. When those bigots in Europe decided, hey, we're going to go to Africa and we're going to take those savages and we're going to put clothes on them because being naked was a crime. Now look at them. They didn't even have the intelligence to wear clothes. We were hot in Africa. We were fine. We liked seeing our women beautiful breasts and their ass hanging out. We were cool with that. Why you fucking our shit up? Okay? It was cool. So they got Shaka Zulu and made him all type of promises. Then they wanted to make movies making us think Shaka Zulu was a hero. Now I'm not talking about the movie exposing Shaka Zulu for the villain he is. I'm talking about the concept of trying to promote the movie as if Shaka Zulu was some type of hero. So people go around promoting Shaka Zulu. Shaka Zulu was a slave trader. Shaka Zulu oppressed his own people, and Shaka Zulu oppressed other tribes. Whoever didn't go along with his way, he sold their ass into slavery. And after they were done with his ass, they used his own people to betray him and then made them slaves. So when you think about all those African colonies, you got to understand those African colonies ended up as colonies because Africans sold Africans into slavery, and then the slave traders, the slave purchasers, decided they wanted to take the slave sellers as slaves. So you have colonies. These are facts. Alright? And it's the same thing going on now where they have this trader. My new title for him is Barack Shaka Zulu Obama, because he thinks selling us into slavery is going to give him immortality. I'm going to be president for life. Well, Mr. President, in the year 2025, the children will have classes about you. Children, do you know what was the greatest atrocity committed in history? And the children would say, "Ooh, ooh, ooh, I know, I know." And the teacher would say, "Liberty? You tell us." And the little girl would stand up, maybe about 6, 7, 8 years old. She'd say, the greatest atrocity committed in history was when Barack Shaka Zulu Hussein Obama decided to sign the National Defense Authorization Act into law that took away the liberties of citizens and turned them into slaves. And the teacher would say, "Oh, that's very bright, Liberty. You are such a smart girl." And she'll say, "Thank you, Miss Constitution." That's what they're going to say about Barack Obama in the year 2025. Try to sign away our liberties. Okay, so don't worry. You wanted fame. You wanted to sell us out for 4 more years. Don't worry. If I go along and if I sign the document, you know, I get what I'm looking for, and I get the immortality of being president. Okay, all right. You will have the same fame as Jesse Jackson. Yeah. Just imagine what people are gonna say about him. Every time they bring up Martin Luther King, they'll say, "Yay, Martin Luther King was a great man." And then that bootlicking motherfucker, Jesse, oh boy, they're side by side, Jackass and Jesse. The National Defense Authorization Act is slavery. This is the same type of slavery that was used to rationalize taking slaves from Africa. The same type of slavery used to justify owning slaves in the name of Jesus. Here's his excuse. I know it's wrong. I know it's an atrocity. I know it's a horrible crime. But I'm not going to be the one to do the crime. I'm just making it okay for the other guys to do it. I'm going to give you a brief bio about my history, since most of you don't know who I am and why I'm talking when I'm talking. My name is Leonard Lancelot Shand, aka Steve. I adopted the name Yahya due to my Islamic learning. Okay? Now, my case is United States versus Marcus L. Anderson, also known as the Panamanian case, 1989, presided over by Judge Norma Holloway Johnson. So when people talk about the Panamanian case, that's my case. I was the enforcer in that case. Why is this relevant? This is the case that not Bush the dummy, Bush the daddy. Bush the daddy used this as a way to manipulate people. When he had the court label the case the Panamanian case because of all the Panamanians that were involved in the case and those who may have known people associated with Emmanuel Noriega, but weren't dealing drugs for Emmanuel Noriega, but because he wanted to use his lie to justify going and violating the sovereignty of Panama, the propaganda was used. So our case is called the Panamanian case, which happened to have no relation to the fact that he's going into Panama to go get Emmanuel Noriega, calling him a drug dealer. Now, I'm not the one who spoke about George Bush the daddy, not George Bush the dummy, being on yachts with Pablo Escobar sipping champagne. Okay? I don't know anything about that. You need to ask whoever brought that stuff up. But I'm saying that these things that I'm talking about, as far as if you are selling any type of illegal drugs in America, you are not helping us. You are helping the corrupt establishment. I didn't know this when I was the enforcer for the Panamanian case. These things are facts. So from my knowledge, from my life experience, I understand the importance of these things. I didn't know when I was out there doing the stuff, putting bullet holes in insignificant people for insignificant reasons. I didn't understand what I was doing. I didn't understand that every ounce of drugs that come into this country is allowed to come here. These are facts. Okay, so when they trick you with that Denzel Washington movie, telling you that story about Frank supposed to be sneaking drugs on the military planes into America and the government just happened to not know about it, that's a pile of bullshit. There's no possible way. Use your common sense. You're getting drugs from the enemy and sneaking them into America on American military planes and the government don't know about it. Those same drugs that happen to be going into the African American neighborhoods, turning them into junkies during a time of war, where people are going through excessive amount of stress and they need to be kept controlled. Believe what you like. Now, I understand many of you, why listen to me? Who am I? I just want to share with you, when I talk, Jeff Fort, listen. When I talk, Sekou Odinga, listen. When I talk, Abdul Aziz Ballantyne, listen. Muwali, listen. Mahmoud Abu Alima the Red, Mr. World Trade Center, he listened. Because the one thing they will all tell you when they ask about me, they say, that's that sincere brother. They will all tell you that. So whether they agree with my points of view or disagree with my points of view, they'll tell you when I talk about stuff, I'm sincere in what I'm talking about. Now, me and Jeff Fort have never discussed his case. Because everything I learned about Jeff Fort and his history, I learned from either people telling me or me watching a documentary or reading something about it. Right? But I can tell you, when I speak about an issue, people don't interrupt because Jeff Fort himself would say to them, man, relax. That's Yahya talking. Listen to what he has to say. If you doubt it, ask Jeff Fort. If you don't know who Jeff Fort is, do your research. If you don't know who Abdul Aziz Ballantyne is, do some research on the Virgin Islands. When those racist bigots was oppressing the people down there and they got fed up. And so they're going from house to house, chopping people up, putting bullet holes in people. Okay? I'm saying to you, I sit and learn from people who have experienced many type of revolutions in their mind and in their thought and in their actions. I've sit and learned from many of the people many of you idolize as revolutionaries. So when I speak, I can speak from a first-hand point of view because I sat in the boxes with them for over 15.5 years, day to day, day for day. So I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you from a point of first-hand knowledge. So when Tupac's daddy Mr. Shakur used to have his black culture workshop in Terre Haute, Indiana, and used to call us, all those little younger kids back then, and say, hey, Yahya, and come on out to the black culture workshop. And I used to say, man, brother, I ain't trying to go, because black stuff sounds like racism to me. Black culture workshop, you know. I got to be all black conscious. I just want to be able to be God conscious, you know. But I went to some of the classes, you know. But to me, I wasn't aware. I wasn't knowledgeable. You know, now I'm more knowledgeable. I understand that, you know, history is history. Facts are facts. They're important for us to understand. So I'm sharing with you these facts. That's why when I came out of prison, I ain't try to go back and sell no more drugs or do none of that stuff. I try to get a legitimate job, try to work and build and grow. Same thing I'm doing now. But I understand that the establishment can do the best they can to manipulate you and keep you in financial hostage, which was the whole struggle in the first place of people saying, listen, these people are not trying to let us get up. So we have to do these things. But I want you to understand that's a part of the manipulation. So I'm saying to you, if you did not know that when you're doing this type of things, it's counterproductive to the struggle of liberation for all, that's what you're doing. I'm saying to you, Ron Paul is giving you a perfect opportunity. The hypocrites are trying to demonize Ron Paul by saying, well, his ideas are unconventional. What's unconventional about saying, people, you need to be responsible? Stop being dependent. Stop establishing a welfare state, allowing others to take care of you. That makes common sense. People want to trick you into believing, so you're trying to tell me I can't file for welfare? No, fuck welfare. If you work and keep your own money, you won't need to give your money away and then try to file for it back in deductions. You keep your own damn money. Give 10% is a fair rate. 8% is even a better rate. Okay? So you say, listen, I'm gonna give you 8%. I'm gonna give you 8, but if you want 10, I'll give you 10% of my income tax. Take it. That way the other 90% is my hard-earned money I do for myself. The hypocrites want you to believe, what are you going to do about Medicare? I'll go find my own doctor. There are people graduating from medical school every day in your state. Qualified young professional doctors, experienced doctors as well. Find a doctor you want. They're out there in there trying to grow and build, support you in all of your communities, their community hospitals. In your communities. If there's not, then you need to build one. Ron Paul is trying to point out to people, if you have your own money, it will make you self-sufficient. There is no better defense than self-defense. It's the same thing that applies to taking care of yourself. The concept when he says we don't need to have a welfare state, it means that you don't need to have a system that you have to rely on for your betterment, for your interests, that can help to protect you. You don't need that. So when the tricksters want to deceive you, man, you're trying to get rid of Medicare. Yes, fuck Medicare. This money comes out of your check that you never see. And you file for it when you get old and you never seem to get it all back. If you keep your own damn money, you pay for your medical shit when you need that shit. You set up your own insurance. And you don't have to get what the company's giving to you. You can get what the company you want to get with. He's saying to you, liberty means you have to take responsibility. You have the power. It's yours. So your young black doctors, your young Latino doctors, your young white doctors, your young Asian doctor, Indian doctors that are coming out of school fresh and can't find a job, you'll get a chance to employ them. Fresh talent being taught the latest in medical technology and training, they'll get to have a job. Because you have the money to say, I want you as my doctor, Lisa. I watched you grow up as a young girl. You done went to college. You done learned this technology. You done come home. Shoot. I want to make sure you make some money, girl. Stay in the community. The concept is that we want to get rid of the hood. Fuck the hood. Fuck the ghetto. We want to destroy ghettos. That's the objective. Fuck the ghetto. And who is it that accumulates wealth and still want to live in the ghetto? Please, remember, the ghetto are owned by slumlords. That's what it is. The slumlord isn't doing anything for the community, so the people can't get any benefits. So who want to help the slumlord? Fuck the slumlord. Get rid of the ghettos. We don't need ghetto. We don't need places to hoard poor people. What we need is the people that we support and finance and make them wealthy. We need them to start building construction, building communities. Go back and say, you know what? That slumlord that owned that ghetto, how much you want to sell it for? Okay, I done bought it. Fine. Now I'm going to find a way to start tearing it down, building by building. 2 buildings at a time, and building new luxury shit. And giving it to my people at the same price. So now they have a better condition to make them feel better about themselves. So now they begin to act better. This is the same type of stuff that Muhammad Ali spoke about. When Muhammad Ali pointed out, listen, if you take ghetto people and put them in a suburb, they turn a suburb into a ghetto because their mentality hasn't changed. Your mentality has to change. So when I went to prison and I learned from convicts, not inmates. Inmates are them clowns you see repeating the same old bullshit. That's why the federal and state government will always allow inmates to get out of jail. Because they'll know they'll be back. Inmates keep going in and out of the system, in and out of the system, in and out of the system, back and forth. Convicts, they don't try to let about a person because convicts know better. Convicts live by one convict code. The code is the only thing of value that you possess are the words that come out of your mouth. And if the words have no value, then you have no value. Because of this one fundamental code that says if your word ain't shit, you ain't shit. This code allows people from different points of views to get along. This is why Black Guerrilla Family, Gangster Disciples, Aryan Nation, Neo-Nazi, skinheads, Muslims, Christians, everybody that's in prison that are convicts can get along without conflict. You only find conflict when opportunists don't honor the code. So you find conflict. Other than that, people get along. I understand the difference between white pride and white hate. Because I used to watch the white hate people beat up the white pride people because they didn't want to hate black people. They were just proud of being white. Man, I'm a Nazi. I believe in being a Nazi. I believe in white pride. I don't want to hate you because of who you are. I just want to be me. The white haters said, no, Hitler didn't teach us that. Hitler said we must kill the niggers. So they would beat their ass. Beat them senseless. Our flaw was not helping the white pride people by saying, man, we need to protect them. Because they're standing up saying they don't want to believe in hate. Instead, people were like, man, that's them. They ain't got nothing to do with us. And this is reality. I live this reality. Sitting in Marion, Illinois. Sitting in Terre Haute, Indiana. Sitting in Long Park, California. You must understand, it is not the little bit of money that you're making. Whether you make $4, $5, $6, $7, $10 million, but you got millions. It's about the billions going to the source that you don't know of that's keeping us in the condition that we're in. That create this failed system that they now are nervous about what to do. So they use this pawn, Barack Shaka Zulu slave owner Obama, to manipulate us. And I was manipulated too. I really believed in Obama. When he signed the National Defense Authorization Act, I was hurt. I was shocked. Because I was ready to champion for Barack Obama 2012. When he signed it, I was like, whoa. Imagine that. How can you sign such a thing and then claim, well, I'm not going to be the one to take away people's liberties. Somebody else will. Many people argue the point, man, it's not him. It's the Illuminati. It's people behind him. The same way, if you on the street hustling and the front man fronts you your product and the cop come and get you, they're not going to say, oh, don't worry. It's not your fault. It's the guys behind you fault. They're going to lock your ass up. It's the same thing. But if Barack Obama want to be the front for the crime, lock his ass up. He's the criminal. We have to understand if we need to do what Ron Paul is telling us to do. Ron Paul is saying, fuck the middleman. You don't need to be able to get your keys from overseas. Fuck that. Grow your own damn keys. If you're Ricky Rose and you in Miami, man, we got a whole bunch of farmland down there. Buy the land. Support Ron Paul to legalize marijuana. Plant your marijuana. Market it. Ricky Rose Blunts. Okay? The boss. The boss blunts. You need to cut the middleman out. Fuck the middleman. Because the source that's getting the money is the source keeping us in the condition we're in. So when the hypocrites attack Ron Paul to try to say his ideas are unconventional, it's a con. They're tricking you. They're telling you a bullshit. They're trying to make you believe that you being able to stand up for your liberties and your freedoms is somehow unconventional. Of course it is. Because you've been living as mental slaves for so long, you don't know what else to do. You must understand, when it comes to your taxes, you earn the money. Why are you taking your money and giving 30% or more to the government structure that's telling you that you have to file for deduction to see what we can give you back? Fuck giving back. 10%, that's fair enough. It should be about 8. But 10% is fair. I'm gonna give you 10%. So if you made $100,000, you give them 10%. You made $1,000,000 or $100 million, 10%. Nobody need to ask you questions about how much money you still got in the bank overseas. None of your motherfucking business. It ain't none of your business how much money I got in a bank account in Jamaica. Fuck you. That's a Jamaican problem. That ain't America's problem. People shouldn't be asking you about whatever money you put aside to save yourself from financial harm. Because when you made a transaction, it's all documented. When you got the money, it's documented. So tax was already taken from the money. They can't ask you about money that you already paid tax for to see if they can tax it again. Fuck that shit. Well, let's see how much money you got in this. See if we could tax it again. Kiss my ass. That's the con. It's your money. Put it where the fuck you want to put it at, and give them what the fuck you want them to have. And then you have to understand, when you vote and put Ron Paul in the White House, remember, you can't neglect your responsibility. That's only the beginning. You're still God. You're still a guardian of democracy. He is your representative. He is your employee. So you are the guardian of democracy, and he is your employee. So you must be there to tell him, I want this and I want that. Why in the world are there secret discussions about our well-being? And when we ask, well, why could you come to an agreement? Oh, it's complicated. Complicated? What the hell? What's so complicated about our issues? Now, I'm pointing these things out so you can understand why I say the things I say, I do, and I approach the things in the way I approach it. Okay? So even if you're too high up above to listen to the little poor man talking that bullshit, because I won't go out there and sell no weed or sell no coke or sell no bullshit so another motherfucker can benefit and keep us in mental slavery. No, I'm saying if we support Ron Paul, we'll be able to make that money ourselves. If we don't do it, they're going to legalize it, and then these corrupt tobacco companies are going to get all the benefits. And we'll still be talking about, man, they was against weed, now they legalize it, and they making all the money. But I'm saying to you, with Ron Paul, you'll get to make the money. Ricky Rose can get farmland in Florida and grow marijuana to sell Ricky Rose blunts. 2012. Responsibility is what Ron Paul is talking about. Ron Paul is trying to tell us in this way. Listen, Titans. The Olympians are gods hovering over us. But you must understand, you are a god also. They are not the only guardians of democracy. Cause they are liars ripping us off. You are guardians of democracy also. You are the God of this democracy. It's your responsibility. The Olympians want to keep us in mental slavery. The Olympians want us to be dependent. Pray to Zeus. Oh, admire and pray to Athena. Oh, pray to Ares. Ares will fight for us. Fuck that. I like Kratos. I love Kratos. You have to understand, the war has already been won. So there's no need for us to fight no more wars. We won already. All we have to do now is to defend the liberties that we already have. You're in America. You already won the war. Liberty and justice is already engraved in the Constitution. Those racist bigots that stole the land from the Indians and founded the country secured that for us. So from their evil came the great good that you're enjoying. We were in Africa, happy as hell, minding our business, enjoying all our beautiful nude women, relaxing and enjoying our lives, till some racist motherfucker decided them Africans was living too good. Let's go take their shit, in the name of Jesus. Now they're doing the same thing again. The National Defense Authorization Act. They're going to come take people's liberties and take people's property in the name of democracy. You do not need to be dependent. You need to be independent. That's what liberty does. Liberty affords that every individual have the same rights and privileges. That means when Barack Obama commits a crime, his ass go to jail. The same way if John commit a crime. There's no exemption from that. That's not for Ron Paul to enforce. That's for you to enforce. It's your liberties. You have to protect it. It's your rights. Shit, take hold of yourself. Ron Paul is saying stop this dependency. Fuck a welfare check. If you have a job to keep your own goddamn money, you won't need a welfare check. Fuck that. Now they're compelling you to get insurance so they can take more money from that. Man, fuck that. Why you got to be compelled to pay insurance so they can take money out of that too? There's just more ways and schemes to take money. Wealth is power. The jackasses say, I don't need no money. I can depend on Jesus. So you can't have it both ways. You can't say, God help those who help themselves, and then say, I don't need to get involved. I just depend on Jesus. I want to show you something about depending on Jesus. My relative, that's a United States citizen, is sitting in immigration right now, from what I've heard, because Obama says she's an illegal immigrant, and she's a citizen just like me. Okay, Ronald Reagan protected immigrant rights when he pointed out, if you immigrate to this country and you become a citizen, then your children or the children that you are responsible for become citizen and or permanent residents. So they're protected. So that means if you come here as a child under the age of 18 and your parents or guardians have become citizens, then you get that benefit also. So here you have my relative, a tax-paying citizen now for 30 plus years. And Barack Obama has her locked up, facing immigration. Now I'm not saying this because of what I'm saying, because I don't think I'm that important. I'm just saying those officers out there locking up American citizens, while at the same time the Mexicans that they want us to hate are out there standing on the corner getting Bank of America accounts and Bank of America ID cards and are not getting locked up in immigration. There seems to be a problem there. I'm saying if we have the same type of privileges for everyone, if a Canadian can come to the border, show their ID and come in without being harassed, then a Mexican should be able to come to the border, show his ID, and not be harassed. Why, if you come from the north, come on in. If you come from the south, who the fuck are you? All I'm saying is, let's charge them resident tax. $15 a month. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And if you're not working and can't pay, whoever is housing you, if they can keep you in the house, they can pay your share. Imagine if we have millions of illegal immigrants in the country, and we say, you know what, you're no longer illegal. Just verify who you are and pay the $15 a month resident tax. Cool. Find work. As long as there's work, it's money floating. Ron Paul is saying we don't need the government to create jobs. People create jobs. People are making money every day. People are making money every day. We don't need this asshole trickster, this deceiver, Shaka Zulu, come tell us some bullshit. He's a deceiver. I was hurt as a motherfucker. He signed that document, and people want to convince me it's not his fault. It's those other people's fault. Bullshit. He had the veto power. He could have said, no, man, this is right. This is how my ancestors became slaves. But no, he wanted the rewards and 4 more years. Immortality. President. Don't worry, you will have it. The kids are going to talk about you when they're asked in class. Okay, so we're going to wait for that day. President of crime.